welcome to a very nerdy episode of Shrouded Realities podcast.
This one's above all of our heads.
Yeah, This one's the nerdiest of nerdies. We've done one other really nerdy episode.
Yeah.
Was the what was that? There's one you missed with Sam. Was her guest?
Younger Dryas.
Younger Dryas. That was pretty nerdy. This one makes that one look like elementary school stuff. This is going to be the nerdiest.
We're talking about atoms and black holes and particles and molecules. It's getting deep.
Space-time continuums.
Hey, this is the one I'm the most excited about, though, right now. I'm pumped for this episode.
Surprisingly tickled my fancy.
I wasn't anticipating it.
No.
I was like, yeah, okay.
If you're scared of things you can't see, this may not be the episode for you.
This one's tough.
Yeah. I've got some thoughts on that, too.
I do, too. And I think I'm going to be able to make some ties to some previous episodes with this one.
Think you can tie it to Bigfoot?
I think I can. Man, in that Bigfoot episode, though, it was so hard for me not to be like, ugh, jumping ahead.
Yeah,
I was real close.
So a little context, a little backstory. We're recording 2 episodes in the same day.
Yeah.
Hadn't done that before.
We haven't. That's why we're all in the same clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should have changed.
We should change shirts. Yeah, me wear your shirt.
If we were smart, we could have done that, but we're not smart.
Thought about it, didn't mention it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't even go there.
Do episode of shirts and episode of skins.
Yeah, we're in
the skins episode would get no views though. Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see these rat nipples. Let me tell you that.
Gross. I didn't think I'd hear that word
on my
today.
chest.
I'm not scared, man. I'll say what I want.
Today we're talking about CERN. So Connor texted, we was over group text over the holidays trying to figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we've all had the flu this week, by the way.
Yeah, that pushed us way behind. That's why we're doing 2 episodes.
Way behind going. This is not how we plan to spend our Christmas break.
No.
We were like, oh man, we're going to get in here. We're going to be working like crazy on this stuff. Yeah. And then all of us got the flu.
Yeah, it was like a whole week and a half of nothing happening with Shrouded Realities podcast.
I felt like garbage for a week.
So we're finally getting better. Getting back into it. We just did a Bigfoot episode.
We did.
Now we're doing complete opposite of that. CERN, which is a particle. Yeah, you're going to tie that together. Mm-hmm. A particle collider.
Yes.
In Switzerland and France. They're on the border. It's on the border of Switzerland and France, where they collide molecules together
at the speed of light.
At almost the speed of light. It's like 99.9% of the speed of light. Collides particles together at the speed of light, and then they measure the explosion that happens when these things that you can't see
hit each other. So have y'all heard how many they shoot at each other at a time?
It's like 1 billion.
It's billions of them that they shoot at a time.
But it was only like
But there's like 50 of them there's like 50 of them that'll actually hit.
Yep.
Because you're basically like shooting salt at one another and hoping that it hits.
Yeah, because there's so much space in between the molecules that it's hard to get them to
actually hit. So that's why they've got to shoot so many at one time to actually cause anything to happen.
Yeah. So I had a thought on this, just in that in general. So you're telling me they spent $22 million. Billion. I'm sorry, 22 billion.
No, 22 million's like nothing.
No, it was a billion. I think it was $22 billion to create this thing. It's underground, and it's like it's like 100 meters underground, they said, and it's a big, giant tunnel. Can't remember how big.
27 kilometers.
Like the size of a city, maybe.
That could be 22 million miles. What is kilometers? I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know. Several hundred. It's a lot of miles.
Tell me how far that is in feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Big feet.
Big feet.
There it is, Bigfoot. Todd. There it is.
So they built this giant tunnel so that they can shoot these things that you can't see together.
Yep.
To cause this collision that you can't see.
Yep.
To measure the explosion of the thing that you can't see.
Yep.
To put these numbers on a graph that you can see.
At the line.
But you're trusting that these things that are happening.
So let me back up on my theory of this.
Yeah.
My theory is, how did they say that the Big Bang happened?
That's what they say. What they're. Yeah. I did hear that a bunch in this research, that what they're creating was at a microscopic level of the Big Bang and how the universe was created.
Yeah, two atoms colliding. Boom, Earth.
Not
Boom,
just Earth.
the solar system.
Yeah.
Boom, like the whole everything.
Yeah.
Pow. Right?
Yeah. I'm not
So that's what they say their purpose is.
Okay.
So if their theory is that they're trying to recreate the Big Bang.
Yep.
To find the God particle, right? That's what it is.
That's the big thing that they got out of this.
Yeah.
That's really all I can find that they.
It's a blip on a graph at this point.
Yeah, we'll go into that in a minute.
But if they say that that's what they're trying to create, what are they creating from this Big Bang that they are manufacturing?
You're talking about like
side effects?
Side effects, or are you talking about like they're trying to make something happen, not just.
Yes, I think they're trying to make something happen.
That's where the shrouded realities part, the
because
conspiracy theories part come in.
The innocent excuse is it's research to find out how we got here.
Yeah.
The not so innocent excuse is what are you trying to bring in or create are portals, which is something I've heard a lot about.
Rips in the space-time continuum.
Y'all remember an airplane that went missing?
Oh, yeah, the Malaysian flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
370, was that right?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Somewhere in Malaysia, yeah. Just disappeared.
Still ain't found that thing.
Gone.
You know what was happening during that time frame?
No, stop it.
CERN was popping off.
Are you serious?
They were firing things up.
What?
Still ain't found that thing, by the way.
What? So Connor...
Look, hey, let me back up, and I'm going to look at the camera for this. There's a dot over here and a dot over here, and I'm trying to make them connect that may not be real.
Yeah.
But this is a freaking plane.
Gone.
And it doesn't exist anymore.
Full of people.
Yes.
Full of souls.
And nobody can tell you where it went today. And that was in what, 2016? Something like that?
I do got to say, this is the first on this episode. This is the first wild conspiracy theory that comes out of this.
This is going to be conspiracy riddled. We're just riddled with conspiracy.
That's why this tickled my fancy. So Connor, on the group, I never did finish my story. We got on the sidetrack. Connor, we was texting, hey, what are we going to talk about? Connor said, hey, let's talk about all the cult stuff going on with CERN. CERN.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I've said, I don't know what that is. But let's look into it. Who cares? Who knows? Dude, it didn't take 20 seconds and I was hooked with all the craziness.
It's something out of like a science fiction movie or a book or something, you know.
How'd you come across it? You said you remember when it
I remember like I was a History Channel kid and they would cover it a lot, like CERN, talk about the particle accelerator and all that.
What they were doing.
And then I kind of just didn't think about it for a while. Then I saw all the weird cult things, like all the conspiracy theories tied to what happens when you're opening up these tiny little, impossible black holes.
When you start playing with molecular level science.
The foundation in quotation marks of everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's really weird things that happened with... I mean, people say that we've entered alternate realities now ever since they've started firing this thing off.
Really?
That's where a lot of the Mandela effects, they say, come from.
Ooh.
Mandela effects is once they started firing this thing off, things are not the same as what we remember them being. We remember them a certain way, but it's not reality.
We need to do a show on that because there's
CERN,
there's a
lot of people trying to tie CERN to these Mandela effects.
That we're living in different space times.
Yeah, that we're living in a different time frame and things that we remember as a group of people.
Because of the stuff that these guys are doing.
Yeah.
Trying to make particles slam into each other.
Yeah. That's what they say. I mean, that conspiracy too, right there. I mean, I don't know how real that is, but
it's like it's almost impossible to even
because I'm not smart enough to even understand it at its basic level.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart. I don't know what these particles do when you hit them together. I mean,
but my caveman brain just like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But I can tell you there's a lot of weird things about CERN and its locations and the things that they do around this big tunnel in the earth.
and the money that goes into it. That's what struck me.
This is not just localized in Switzerland.
No, there's multiple countries pitching in on this.
And they're building more.
And yeah, they're trying to make this one that's already huge. They're trying to make it like 10 times bigger.
The one in China, I think, is going to be 3 times larger.
Oh.
That they're going to build.
I didn't hear about the one in China.
And then they're building another one in Switzerland that's going to be the size of Switzerland.
See.
Under the earth.
See.
They say it's going to be 15 to 20 years to build.
See. Why?
We've got one. Why do we need another one? There's one in Nashville, just up the road from us.
Really?
Yeah, there's one in Nashville. Interestingly enough.
Is it as big as this one or just?
No, it's a smaller one, but they've got one in Nashville.
Uh-huh.
There's things in Tennessee that just pop up, like in ranches, Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh.
I want to find out how close Skinwalker Ranch is to this.
Skinwalker Ranch is in Arizona or Texas.
I thought that, no.
Yeah, it's way up.
I'm thinking of somebody else then. There is somebody else that has this in Tennessee, that has these problems in Tennessee.
Really?
I'll find it.
Okay.
Y'all keep going.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the money, why, like, I haven't found anybody other than anything come out of this with any significance other than the God particle. And even that is like, who cares?
Right. Like what has been proven here?
Yeah. Like, and even if you prove
I get it, science. Like you're continuing your career in science. I get it. But it's like the potentiality of danger. They say there's no danger, but my brain says otherwise.
Yeah. And at that much cost too.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? It's like, okay, so molecular physics to me is like a cat breeder. Like,
what?
Yeah.
You can do it, but why would you?
Yeah.
There's already a billion of them out there.
Yeah. And like, sure, maybe there are cat breeders out there, but who cares? Why are they pumping $22 billion and then some into this and all the research that goes on through it? What's the point? Like, what do you get out of it? Like, how's that gonna make anything better? And even finding the God particle, what did that change? Is like, okay, so it was 2012, I believe it was, is when they released that they found the God particle.
Yeah.
Air quotes, found the God particle. They called all the super nerds together in this room and they said, hey, we found it. We did it. Here it is. And they pulled it up and it's literally a graph on a slide. And it says, it's got a little line with these little dots and these little algorithms and this stuff. And then it's like a little bleep. It's just a little bleep. Mm-hmm. And there it is. There's the God particle. Yeah. Who cares? And what does that have to do with anything?
Here's a quote from Stephen Hawking, which he was on the Epstein list, so he's lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
But this is a quote from him. This was 2014. He says, Stephen Hawking lends his support to the idea that the mass of the Higgs boson leaves the way open for catastrophic cosmic wipeout.
That does. Interesting.
Just
catastrophic wipeout. So what?
I don't know what that means.
And then how, though? Like what?
So that means we need to make it bigger then.
Make it bigger and better. Give it the Texas approach.
Yeah. The bigger it is, the better it is, right?
Yeah.
And I looked up, whenever they run this collider, it uses enough power to power up 100,000 homes. Now imagine making it bigger.
Yeah.
And then like crying about climate change. It's like, where's that power coming from?
So I'm really trying not to go full blown.
I think are we ready to go full blown?
Are we further in yet?
Get there. No,
get there. Like,
that's where we live.
Yeah. I've kept quiet over here and I can't, like the further we go.
Yeah.
We can start with the rituals that they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We pulled one up a minute ago and watched it.
Yeah.
This was not for CERN. Let's just be, honest with that. It was for a underground railway.
Okay.
But dudes with goat heads dancing around, people taking their clothes off to their underwear and
looking at it.
Doing things that were, we'll just say,
cultic,
ritualistic, very
pagan
things that you would see in.
the Swedish are pagan, like they're That's their whole culture, basically, is pagan.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's very pagan.
Yeah.
Which is very odd because Hitler, most of his occultic things are in Switzerland underground. Hitler was a very big proponent for the occult. I mean, he was all about it. He was occultic to a T.
Yep.
All of these items that he had, his totems, whatever you want to call them, are buried in underground bunkers in Switzerland. Why? I don't know. He gave it to them and said, pretty much don't let it go anywhere.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that's weird to me. Second thing that's weird to me, anytime there is any underground digging that happens in Switzerland,
they do these rituals.
They're in Switzerland.
Do you know if they did those for this one?
Yes,
they did.
There's videos of it. It's hard to find now, but there's videos of it that exist.
Yeah. I found the counter videos because they did, when I say they, the CERN company, the people that do it, the people that have a vested interest in this, they did acknowledge that people said that there are cultic rituals that go on.
Yeah.
Their explanation of it was that all this kicked off when India, who is also involved in this, gave them a statue of one of their gods.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a video of people in shrouds and tunics, dancing around this thing.
Shiva.
They said, air quotes, they said that they did that as a joke.
Sure.
Right.
I would say that too.
Poking fun at the people saying that they're doing occultic ritualistic things.
You're so funny right now.
Yeah.
Let's go do a cultic ritual.
So me and Steven talked about this as we sat at the cameras and stuff. Like, yeah, if there was a group of ultra nerds that would be doing that sort of thing, this would be the group to do it.
I disagree with that.
You think it was just straight out?
The reason I disagree with that is because the group of people that's making a funny is not people shooting particles at each other. They're not funny dudes. These are the most black and white people that exist. It's real or not real, period. These are not ha-ha. Scientists are not funny.
Yeah.
I've never met a funny scientist. Granted, I don't think I've met too many of them. But if I have, I hadn't been like, dude, that guy's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, is Fauci funny?
No. Well, I mean, when he throws a baseball, he is. Anyway, but the rituals are too much. Let's go to Switzerland again. They have the most underground bunkers in the world.
Really?
375,000 underground bunkers.
Why?
I don't know. What is their obsession with underground?
Yeah. Why does this particle accelerator need to be underground? Why can't it be in a tube?
And there's probably a scientific reason that exists.
They said it was because of the magnetic pole situation. Like,
would just wipe out everything.
They said there was something special about that area that made it easier for them to do what they had to do.
I want to have that conversation too.
The magnetic poles?
No, that there's something special about that area that allows them to do that.
Yeah.
The theories that I've heard are there are certain points on the earth where portals can be opened.
Okay. Are we talking Book of Enoch type stuff? Or are you talking
Yes.
Stranger Things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
Yes.
More of the Stranger Things thing.
So do.
I like that. I like that you went there because that's kind of where I was going to end up.
Okay.
We've been talking a little bit about programmed things that are pushed out to program us as people
from the CIA,
from Hollywood,
from big tech,
big tech,
yep,
things like that to make us not. It becomes a normal thing to us.
Yeah, it's not a shock.
It's not a shock when somebody comes out and says, "Hey, this is real. Aliens are real."
So like when
if we just talk about it all the time, it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
So when unidentified drones are flying over New Jersey,
right,
and everybody becomes numb to the fact that there's unidentified flying objects in the sky above New Jersey,
yeah,
it makes it more palatable when
exactly. So
you see a flying object over your house.
There's This gets so deep. This is so crazy.
This is a deep subject.
It is. But
and it's very shrouded.
The portal conversation is that's why you would have these in multiple locations in different places in China, in Switzerland, in Tennessee, in Illinois is another place they're talking about
Russia,
opening one.
In Russia, a player in
I'm not sure if everybody's a player in it. The entire world's a player in this thing.
Which is another.
That's another automatically where I go, that's bad.
Why is every government in the world okay with throwing tons of money at this stupid thing?
One of these rituals that happened at CERN, when it was completed being built, there is a theory that there are 9 kings that rule the earth. These 9 kings would be considered little g gods.
Okay.
9 people died when building CERN.
What?
Their ritual ceremony was to these 9 people that passed away.
Stop.
Where was this? Look, yet again, this is so above my brain that I am connecting dots. I understand that I'm pulling from here and pulling from there and trying to make things stick. That's weird.
I'm glad you went there because I spent my whole time researching, trying to figure out what and why. Like, just who cares if a proton hits a qton, hits a quar? Like,
quar?
And I did see a video that was interesting. They broke down how small we're talking here.
I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the human hair. All right. Mm-hmm. So the way they broke it down was you take a human hair and you slice it. All right. And you look down at the slice you just made. Now imagine that that's the earth.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on that earth, you zoom into the earth, you got to get way down to get to like a grain of rice on that zoom in of the earth as the size of a human hair. All right. And those grains of rice is equivalent of the size of what they're trying to make smashed together.
Right. That's why they're shooting billions of them at each other.
So, yeah. So like, that's infinitely small. Like
is that why they're trying to upscale this? Maybe
to
shoot more at a time.
Because that's what they were saying. That's what they were saying was they're finding things that they thought was the smallest things possible.
Right. They're finding
that make up the smaller things.
Right.
So how does that keep? I mean,
do they just keep going?
Yeah. And again, who cares?
Right. Well.
So I feel like the why to me is what you're getting at.
The portals is what my thought is.
Yeah, that's where the why is. Is there some that you talk about the basics of making these little molecules hit each other and then they explode and then all this other stuff happens. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be more than just that. Like
the guy that I listen to, it's the Confessionals podcast is what it's called. And he was talking about CERN and he lives in Tennessee.
Okay.
And he knows people that have retired from CERN. He claims that people work there specifically for whatever comes to protect the earth from whatever comes out of the portal. That is his claim. His claim is that whatever comes out of that portal, there are people that's jobs are specifically to protect us from that, whatever comes out of it.
Why have it?
Why
have it? Just
knowledge.
There is no innocent answer to that. There's no like what could be the end,
ruling the world and
it's like that thing where like whoever reaches it first can rule the universe.
Here's where I tie this.
Yeah, and that's maybe why other countries are trying to make it.
Here's where I tie this to Enoch.
Okay.
Where are the fallen angels buried?
Under the ground.
Right?
Yep.
And how long are they supposed to be there? Judgment Day, right?
Yep.
What if some spiritual being is trying to speed that process up to get something out of the earth
before that
time,
or control it?
Exactly.
Well, by speeding it up, they're trying to control it.
Yeah. What if there are things that come out of this, like a Bigfoot,
like
a dog man, which we're seeing sightings. I mean, there's a everybody's talking about this right now.
Man, bear, pig, Bigfoot.
Man, bear, pigs.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Bigfoot. I mean, that's people are living it. Maybe we're just living in it, so we're seeing it more often. I don't know. But there's evidence from historical times of Stonehenges and things like that where people talk about that they were trying to open portals to other dimensions through those things. They're finding Stonehenges in all over the world right now. Supposedly one's in Michigan underwater.
I just seen one that was uncovered in Spain.
Pyramids.
Drought opened
Why
up.
is it that these pyramids are being built, that were being built, all are in almost exactly the same setup all over the world? When these people couldn't communicate and say, hey, this is what we're doing, they didn't see it. Why are all these things popping up and we're finding them in different parts of the world exactly the same?
I see what you're saying. So you're saying CERN and the particle accelerators that are being built all over the world are the equivalent of the pyramids and Stonehenge and all the like unexplained.
Yes.
Connected society or connected communities around the world.
Yeah.
And what were those things trying to do? And what are we trying to do?
Yeah.
They were trying to reach some gods, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
That's what the Mayans are doing.
That's why they called it the God particle.
And they're worshiping. They're worshiping what in these rituals? Little G's.
Oh wow! I don't know where to go from here.
And then CERN was like, "It was just a prank, bro."
Yeah, and then they're coming out going, dude, it was a prank, goat head. Chill out."
Yeah,
we're just kidding.
And then it's like they do that. Well, like some business dude in New York's like a big pair of scissors.
I took it weird. Look, this is 2 episodes in a row. I'm taking it weird, and I'm sorry.
Yep.
But that's what I'm finding, and that's where I'm at. It's just weird stuff.
Those are the dots that you're connecting.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Everything I've been finding, I've been like, yeah, I mean, it's impossible for this thing to make a black hole, but like even if it did, it'd be like really small and it'd go away really quick. It's like the fact that you're even saying that it may create one.
Possibly.
It's like,
and this is what they're putting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are we even playing with that?
Yeah.
Well, a black hole is going to swallow the entire world.
Oh, yeah. It's called spaghettification.
Yeah.
It literally like unravels everything.
Space-time and...
So, but that's portal, right?
It's a portal.
That's a portal.
Yeah. They say if you go through a black hole, you may end up somewhere on the other side of the universe.
Yeah.
They say.
We
didn't put out our disclaimer.
We're idiots.
About how dumb we are.
Yeah. We too late?
Because I'm picturing a molecular physicist actually listening to the show.
Yeah, like
just shaking his head,
just banging their head against the wall.
These guys are so stupid.
Look, all I'm talking about is what other people are talking about here.
Yeah, I have no feeling.
I will say I have no idea what happens when you smack two particles.
I mean,
together.
I have feelings about it.
Here's a movie that kind of embodies this discussion called Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
Yes.
Do y'all believe that they have to tell us what they're going to do before they do it?
Who's they?
I think it's a contract.
Who's they?
The people in power.
No, there's a lot of stuff that's going on without our knowledge.
Are they talking about it in ways like Stranger Things?
Oh, wow.
In ways like... What was that movie you were talking about?
Event Horizon. So basically, that's the premises that they're using. They warp travel, and they got to the spaceship that encountered hell, and they space time to hell. Basically, they time warp to hell, but it's still space. But it's a space horror movie. I like it. Fun.
I feel like I went in a long way to get to a 30-minute conversation right here. I don't really know where else to go from that.
You hit the wall?
I've hit the wall, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all there.
Yeah.
But it's also crazy. I understand that it's crazy.
And there's a lot of, what's the word? Things that are happening that are strange that kind of get washed over.
Yeah.
That could be tied to this.
Sure.
The one that triggered me the most was it's caused a rip in the magnetic poles of the Earth.
Yeah.
All right, and the magnetic poles of the Earth not only make your compass point to north when you look at it, but It's
controls weather.
Yeah, it controls weather. It's
wind,
a protection from solar flares,
which we've had a lot of lately.
Which is and that's the thing.
Aurora borealis stuff going on in where we're at.
Why in the southeast of America are we seeing that?
Yeah.
And people it's like, oh, cool, it looks pretty, but nobody's asking why.
I think that in this conversation, I don't know if y'all think about it this way. We're stepping up our level of conspiracy to an extent of I understand that this sounds crazy.
This does sound super bonkers.
Understand that is there.
But there's a reason why in southeast United States of America that we're seeing Aurora borealis, which historically, as far as I know, has never been seen south of Canada.
Yeah.
So there's something that caused that.
There's something weird that's going on with that. And look, we're not smart. And there's going to be a smart guy that's going to be like, well, the reason you're seeing the Aurora borealis is because of and I don't, okay, maybe.
The position of the Earth compared to the sun.
Yeah. But all I can say is that they're talking about making black holes out of tiny little particles that they're shooting together.
And they said, don't worry.
Yes.
You're fine. It's like, does the size of a black hole matter?
Yeah.
Like, can it still affect time?
I think
even no matter how small it is, does the size of it matter? You know,
are things coming out of these portals? Are things that?
And what does it look like?
And if so,
are these 4D things that we can't see, but they can interact with our reality?
What would a portal look like? Like what? Think about it. Like
Are we studying about the movie like Stargate?
Are we being
a big blue
taught
hole?
How to do things?
Oh.
Are we being taught how to do this and opening things that we shouldn't be opening?
That perks me up when you say stuff like that. You talking about like the how the fallen angels was teaching?
I don't know that. I mean, I'm literally just throwing things out that's just like I can't answer why we're doing it.
Yeah.
I can't answer without going conspiracy.
From what I've seen, they can't either.
No.
Like, other than, I did see one guy that was giving a talk on it, and he was super smart. He was a molecular physicist, so he's explaining all the different breakdowns of the molecules and what they're doing and how they're doing it and all the measurements that they're taking. And they said it's like the particles are colliding. It happens so fast, and the dissipation of what happens so fast that they have to measure what comes off of the collision and then reverse engineer what happened in the collision. So he said he compared it to like they're making cars crash together, and then they're taking the pieces of the car crash and they're putting them back together to figure out how a car works.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with molecules.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to why.
Look at this. We need to put this in the video. What is all over that?
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of sixes.
It is.
Mangled together.
Interesting.
Yeah, the CERN
logo.
There's a fourth one though. That kind of there's a fourth line. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
I'm seeing 5.
3.
And then the one on the little dingle on the back right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of
y'all say so.
That's one of those stretches. I'm like, all right, people, you're getting a little too conspiracy theorist here. That may be a stretch.
I see 3 6s in that, but okay.
There's 5.
Okay.
You don't see the count the line. Count the straight lines.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4.
I see 5. 3 on
regardless.
3 on the bottom. Anyway,
it's a bunch of 6s in this.
I do. I'm poking.
They've got Shiva the freaking destroyer sitting out there on the front.
I'm poking holes in that one, but I do think there are demonic forces behind what's going on.
I do too.
At CERN.
You know in movies how like scientists are like usually like the bad guy?
Yeah. You think this is just a group of bad guys
I think it's
doing
just
bad things?
Yeah. It reminds me of like in like 90s movies where like there's like
yeah, that's scary to me.
Yeah.
That's the god they have sitting outside of their place.
I'll put that picture.
See, it looks like it's in a portal.
It does, doesn't it?
Stop.
I'm just saying. This is weird to me.
What's our verse? What's our verse that's on our website?
Ephesians 5:11.
Yep, Ephesians 5:11. We don't have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather we want to expose them.
Yeah.
So
I'm in. Supposedly the Rothschilds are tied to this big time.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have
pumping
the
money into it.
I don't have the ties for that to make that even a valid statement.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly they're tied to that. I don't know.
So
I'm at a loss now. I've kind of said my words, and I don't know where else to go with it.
I don't either, because
this may be the shortest episode we've had, but that's
have
okay.
To be because mostly we're too dumb to understand what's going on.
We are, and I've thrown out the weird, and that's all I've got with it. So
yeah,
is there any evidence of this weird, or is it just like people like us not understanding and talking about it?
Yeah, I think that we are a big, maybe part of the problem in this is people like us. I do see, though, what doesn't make sense to me is the ties with rituals to little G's, having them on your front porch, basically, of CERN. You've got them literally displayed.
Yeah.
You've got...
Don't worry about the black holes.
The fact that black holes are part of this conversation at all. The fact that one of them's not enough, we need to put them in all these other places.
And we need it to be bigger.
We need it to be bigger than the last one.
We need 9 of them built.
What are you going to learn? And maybe there is something. Like I said, maybe there is something that you're going to learn from that. But what?
Now, yeah, and okay, so you learn something. So you learn there's another part to what we used to think was the smallest thing possible. There's other pieces that make up that tiny piece.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to ask it again. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, what good does that do anybody?
Well, and trying to recreate creation is a problem to me.
Yeah, the way they talked about that being a recreation of the Big Bang.
Yes.
Super.
That, if you...
they were trying to tap into God's power or something.
Mm-hmm. That's something I worry about a little bit, is trying to recreate creation.
Yeah.
Other people did that.
Yeah.
And let's take it literal. Like what they say creation is the Big Bang. What happened to the Big Bang? A freaking explosion.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's recreate a freaking explosion
that would destroy everything around.
Yeah.
And if you do recreate it. Let's just say you did.
Yeah.
What are you creating?
That's why it's got to be something
dark,
and demonic that's behind this.
Do I think that the guys that's pushing the buttons are necessarily evil? No. I think that, and they would be the ones that gave you the explanation of, this is what we're doing. We're not doing this for bad.
German accent.
You know. Anyway, they could probably explain away some of this in a way that, first of all, I'm not going to be able to argue with them. I can't
put blinders on you.
Yeah, but that could put blinders on you, because they probably are innocent in it. They're just dudes that are, measuring whatever this did.
Yeah.
But are they being used for an evil purpose in the ways of, like the last conversation we just had on, we're just making pig organs that go into humans.
Yeah.
Is there something else that's going on that they're not aware of?
Yeah. Because there's so many whys to it. But I keep going back to the money thing. Like, if there's not a financial gain for it,
right?
Everything in this world revolves around money.
They're not making a product.
Yeah, everything in this world revolves around money. So where are they getting all that money and convincing that many people? So go back to our why we haven't been back to the moon episode.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is it's too expensive to go back to the moon.
Mm-hmm. But this is not.
But drilling a however many mile long tunnel to make something that we can't see hit each other really fast is
what's the gain?
Noble.
What is the gain?
Yeah, is a noble reason to throw that much money in. What are they trying to make? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to prove?
Everything is to make something, except this.
And the world's okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, the powers that be are okay with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know either. ShroudOfRealities.com. Everybody needs to go to it. Everybody needs to see it. Everybody needs to put their eyes on it.
If you're a molecular physicist, hit us up. Maybe you
Please.
can help us out with this because my brain hurts.
The problem is if you're a molecular physicist and you try to explain this to me, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, so I'm just an idiot, and this is why all these things are happening, and you're going to create something from it. I don't know.
And before you hit the button, I had this thought too. There's a huge level of trust in all of this.
Yeah.
Like even they showed a video of them presenting the God particle, the Higgs boson particle.
Higgs biscuits.
Higgs biscuits. How dumb we are. We can't even say it. All these people came in the room together to see this thing, and all it was a blip on a graph.
Right.
Yeah, and they lost their minds, like hardcore. Like,
I mean, maybe they look at that and they see like their life's work successful,
and that's what that was.
Yeah,
that's what that was. Every one of them. But like, I'm gonna hold this up. See how quick I just did that?
Yep. Yeah.
Who's to say that?
Freaking Joey.
Yeah, there's a huge level of trust to say that didn't happen. Some nerd.
And then someone in the back was like, "I feel kind of funny."
Yeah.
Somebody, I picture like a what's the lie detector? You see that thing? Yeah. It's just going like this. Somebody just went and bumped it. And went, boop.
Oh, see that's right there.
There it is.
I wonder if you're allowed to be in there with a pacemaker.
Probably not.
Rip your heart right out.
I doubt anybody's able to be in there.
Yeah.
If it's as powerful as they say it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not powerful because you can't see it.
Yeah, we don't know.
From what I've seen, it was just like a flash of light.
Mm-hmm.
I can make a flash. I'm making a flash of light right now. Like
I am too. Yeah.
Like the level of trust that goes into trust us. We're making things you can't see hit each other.
Yep. And once we do it, we're going to go do a ritual to bail. So hey.
Yeah, throw that in there. Just
and then tell you we just splunked on you. Prank, bro.
Don't worry about it.
Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, brother.
Let's wrap it up. Go. ShroudedRealities.com. Help us understand this if you do. If you
YouTube, Spotify.
Calm our concerns if you can. If you can't, then don't even message us.
Dig into this yourself. Like,
yeah. Do your own research.
I'm gonna keep digging on this.
We need to link that Confessionals podcast, and I don't know that I explained that as well as what it could have been.
Yeah.
Just because it's above my brain.
Yeah, and I'll share a couple of the videos I watched too that explains what's going on there.
Yeah.
Through their words.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will, but it's interesting.
It is.
I'm glad you brought this up, Connor.
Yeah. It's a short episode, but
hey,
maybe we can come back to it. I don't know.
We'll have to come back to it.
We'll come back to it when we've wrapped our tiny little pea brains to it.
We may get ripped into molecular oblivion and not be able to come back and do this ever again. For Steven, Connor, Joey, and Ruby the podcast dog, thanks for listening. Hope your brain hurts like mine does right now.
Build the CERN.
Thanks, guys.
Build the CERN. You never did it to Joey.